Hello everyone. I'm eating chips. Tortilla chips, actually. But welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to take place on Shattered Temple and the Red Terran spawning in the 12 o'clock position and the 6 o'clock position. Today we have Krogan Elite, the Yellow Terran, and he's yellow, so this obviously isn't ladder, but he is Diamond League and 1v1 ladder, so it should be decent competition. Now with that, we're going to see a whole bunch of nukes again. It's time for some fun. And even though this build has evolved a lot since my previous video, I've still changed a lot since this replay, so I don't want to talk too much about the build arc because it kind of upsets me how bad it is. But with that said, this is a pretty epic match. Guaranteed to be twice as epic and twice as funny as the previous Nuke Rush. So stay tuned. His scout's getting in early. That's one thing I don't like about my build now. Which means I gotta sit around and clear the scout out. I can't take my second gas. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. Well, I mean, I want to, but I don't want him to know it. Because if he sees 2 quick gas, he's going to think Banshees and get missile turrets, and that's just not good for my ghosts. So, that's why I like to wall off now. Get the second supply depot nice and quick, prevent the scout, and then I can take my double gas. Plays my orbital, but who cares? I don't really need the minerals. So we got an early command center for my opponent, so it's going to be fast expand. Looks like he's building reactors, factory. I thought it was going to be for just like defensive strategy where you get a lot of marines, but he's going to swap them to some little bit of Hellion play for some map control. It's always a good idea. You know, if the Hellions give you the map control, so you can't really scout around with marines and SCVs, and that way you can take your command center nice and safe. Looks like he's going to try to poke at my ramp, but Ghosts do good damage to light, and he's only got a couple of units, and I have the high apparent vision, so yeah, that worked out well for me. I even tried to separate my range so the line attack wouldn't happen, but they died so fast, it didn't even matter. So I'm pushing out a bit, taking the Zelnaga. See, that's pretty clear, so I decided to send my Ghosts in, see if I can snipe some marines and whatnot. But long story short, I think better of it because I'm like, hey, I just saw Hellions. I don't want to attack Hellions with my Ghost. Even though Hellions do good damage versus Ghosts because Hellions are light, I can't snipe the Hellions and I can't flee from Hellions because they're faster than me. Although, as it turns out, it was a bunch of Marines, so I could have sniped a few units. Anyways, getting up my missile turret ring, getting up my command center, starting to throw down my Ghost Academies, and all in the wrong order, and I don't do the SimCity anymore, and blah blah blah. So, I don't want to talk with build, so I'm just going to eat some more chips. I have salts in the fridge, but I'm just eating them dry. I'm kind of in the mood to just like kind of eat crunchy salt. So this is doing the trick. So moving out my 3 ghosts, I got my 3 nukes in production, and they're finishing right now. I did scan, noticed that he wasn't walled off and didn't have a missile turret, so no reason to even get a starport and a medevac. I can just walk right in. You should really be spending that orbital energy, because you never know when kaboom! No more orbital energy. Oh no, this one's pretty high too. Nope. How are you going to detect me now, buddy? Nuke. I probably could have nuked like here. Maybe you had a chance to get this factory down. That's alright, I'm still going to get, looks like 5 supply depots, missile turret, engineering bay, before the upgrade finishes. Refinery, and of course the orbital. And that's why I like that Mobius reactor, so I can come in here with lots of energy. I can cloak, run in, get my nukes off all before the cloak fades, and I can even have enough energy for a couple extra EMPs. I didn't notice that this ghost got stuck, but my opponent noticed and tried to surround him and screwed up. So if he just didn't move, this ghost would have died from my lack of map vision, but we tried to surround him, and now his original pathing back to my base is going through. And just in the nick of time as he ran out of cloak energy. So, being that he's supply capped by 40 supply, 59 of 19, he's going to do a push, see if he can return the damage here. And this is a gigantic army, and obviously I only have 1 barracks. It's the only thing I'm producing from. So I might have a paltry force of just 2 ghosts and 2 marines, but what holds off everything for as long as you want it to? Planetary Fortress. I mean, when I do my Sky Terran build, I usually have 1/3 the army size, and I can hold with the fortress, so why not have 1/10 of the army size like now and still hold with the fortress? So these 3 ghosts are drawing straws, and it looks like this one lost. These 2 guys get to go out to their tea party. Well, this one has to stay at home and be all vulnerable and try to nuke these tanks. So you can see from Krogan's vision, you can't actually see the SCVs on the other side. So he's going to scan and try to focus fire them down, which is smart. Meanwhile, the bad straw is going to nuke here, but the tea party's behind him. Oh, and it's chip time. Let's just sit back and enjoy. Chips. That is GG. So triple nuke defense, what you want to do is, ideally you want to have at least 2 ghosts already outside of the base, or even all 3 of them outside of the base. Hide them here or something. Or hide them here. And I probably place this too close. You don't want it this close to the tanks. You want it like on the retreat path, so maybe like 1 nuke here, maybe 1 nuke like here. Because that's probably how they're going to retreat. They're not going to retreat along the edge of this high ground, because they don't know what will kill them from the high ground. So you lay these 2 back here first, and then you lay the one up front. So he's going to see the one up front, he's going to unsiege and run away, and just when he starts running away, that's when these ones are landing. And that's when I get to see. And with that, Krogan GG's. Even he enjoyed that one. And that is good game. So I'm still not going to talk about the build, so don't check the description for that because I'm tweaking it a lot. You'll notice there's like a gigantic hole in this build right now. 8-minute mark, we're facing well, let's bring up the units tab. 7 Marines, 2 tanks. Siege mode is basically done. And that's with a little bit of money stored up, and with a fast expansion, and with a little bit of orbital energy ready to come. So, had he been 1-basing hard, this could easily be more like 3 tanks, 14 Marines, and a Viking, something along those lines, at 8 minutes. And what do I have at 8 minutes? 3 ghosts and 3 Marines, and that's it. So, oh yeah, and this guy threw away 2 Hellions, so yeah, his army could definitely be bigger. So with that said, I'm trying to get this fortress up and ready by 8 minutes, and I may have to sacrifice my ghost timing a little bit, but I don't even really think I do. I don't go as hard on this missile turret ring, which means I can throw it on the command center much, much earlier. And the reason I don't really need the missile turret ring super early, I still get afterwards because I'm floating a lot of minerals, but Banshee Harass, Ghosts do awesome versus that. Banshees are light, Ghosts do bonus to light. And EMP reveals the Banshees, so you can really smoke the Banshees easily. And Blue Flame Hellions, they're also light, so Ghosts do a lot of damage to them. And Hellion drops just aren't as popular anymore because it's not as effective, so that's 2 reasons you don't have to worry about it as much. You're not going to see it as often, and when you do see it, it's not going to do the devastating damage it used to. Blue Flame, was it 3-shot SCVs? 19 damage? Yeah, 3-shots SCVs now instead of 2-shotting them. So basically their damage has been reduced by 33% when you're talking about hitting worker lines. Yeah. Oh, and of course I'm going to be walling off now, which means I get my second gas sooner, so that just speeds up everything. Yeah, I think that's just the key, is getting that fortress up in time for the heavy 1-base push. I could also apply some scouting, try to figure out what he's doing. I don't want to say scouting is gimmicky. I mean, that's like one of the worst things you can probably say because it's so important. But at the same time, it's not always something you can rely on. Like, if you scan, you may miss the key structures. If you, like, try to sneak something in or push, like, he might stuff you and then kill you, or like maybe floating a barracks is maybe the only way you can tell for sure, but that's a heavy investment early on. So you got to build the barracks really early, which means you have an SCV off the line for a long time, and you're investing 150 early. I don't know. The thing that always discourages me from scouting is, like, if you're worried about banshees, you can scan him to see if he has banshees. But that scan costs you 300 minerals, so you could have thrown down 3 missile turrets for the same price as that scan. I'm like, why don't you just get the missile turrets? That way you're safe against banshees, and you got 3 missile turrets that you wouldn't have had otherwise. I don't know. That's just... I should not be backing up not scouting. I'll never win that argument. But what I will say is that you either have to know what he's doing, or you have to be prepared for all the possibilities that he could be doing. So if you're lacking in scouting, you gotta, like, be ready for more variety of attacks that could come your way. If you're diligent on your scouting, you only have to be prepared for the one attack that could come your way, because you know which attack it would be. So, with that, that was a little bit of babbling. Why am I talking about that stuff? We're supposed to be seeing nukes here, come on. Nukes. There. Not a babbling video, this is a nuke me in the face video. Yes! Alright, thumbs up, link in the description. Thank you everyone, and goodbye. Chips.